Sabarimala temple has been opened after 3 hours of ritualistic cleansing that was conducted by the chief priests of the temple. Devotees are currently allowed to enter the Sannidhanam after the temple was opened. I'm joined by my colleague Pramod Madhav, who's been tracking this story consistently. Pramod, now the temple doors have opened once again after 3 hours of ritualistic cleansing.
It surely is, and as you might know, two women of the age group between 10 and 50, they entered the temple around 3:45 a.m. in the morning, and they did. It was a massive victory for them, because after all the protests, heckling and kind of chasing them away, even after like the last time when they tried, they have walked all the way to Sabarimala and they have entered the temple premises. And we are not sure if we should call this unfortunate or what, but still the Tantri has gone ahead. He shut down the temple doors, and for 3 hours they were conducting ritual pujas called as purification pujas, and now they have opened it. Not exactly sure how the Kerala government, a progressive government, is going to handle the situation, but the temple doors have been opened once again for the devotees to see Ayyappa.
Right, Pramod, also, have there been any sort of tightening of security around the temple now that it's become public news that two women have in fact entered the temple?
Section 144 has already been extended in Ayyappan temple, and presumably it might go up to January 22nd as well. That is until the last day the temple will be open. The thing is that security has already been beefed up since December because of the vast number of devotees that were supposed to overflow into the temple. So security, there doesn't seem to be any change or kind of change, but it surely is possible for a lot of devotees or protesters to assemble in the temple. So measures have also been taken to make sure devotees and pilgrims are screened properly before allowing them inside the temple.
Right, Pramod, of course, as you were mentioning that two women in their mid-40s had entered the Sabarimala shrine today. This comes more than 3 months after the Supreme Court had passed an order allowing women of all ages to enter the temple. The women claim to have entered the temple on Wednesday morning at 3:45 a.m. The two women reportedly started their climb from the Pamba base camp around midnight and reached the temple at around 3 a.m. They were protected by a small group of policemen in civil clothes. A video of the women entering the shrine has gone viral. However, the Kerala Devaswam Board claims that they don't have any information as of now on the entry of the women. Of course, we must note that the Kerala Chief Minister, Pinarayi Vijayan, has confirmed that the two women had entered the shrine. He said that the government had issued standing orders to police to provide all possible protection to any women devotees who wanted to enter the temple. So going back to Pramod now, Pramod, the government also, of course, quick to claim credit of sorts, and also the fact that they have also officially now confirmed that these women had in fact entered the temple, with none less than the Chief Minister tweeting saying that he had issued standing instructions to police officers to ensure that women devotees, if they want to enter the temple, do manage to enter. But we have to remember that this had been going on for quite some time now, since end of September, once the order had been passed, that women were trying several times to enter the temple, but they were stopped on their way. What changed today? Have you heard anything from your sources and from the police on how they actually managed to ensure that the women devotees entered the temple?
It surely is, and as you might know, and as you exactly pointed out, for the past 2 months, it has been only chaos in Pamba, Nilakal and Sabarimala itself, because protesters gathered. The police initially said that they could not segregate who are the protesters, who are the devotees, who are the pilgrims, and that became a different issue. Pinarayi Vijayan constantly said that they will provide protection, even though so many women tried to enter. And in fact, if you have to remember, even journalists were attacked at one point because there were women journalists at that area. So that's a level of degradation law and order went to that point. But after that, 144 was imposed. Even after so many protesters tried to cause a lot of chaos, they were completely removed. The place was placed as a sanctum sanctorum, and it was clear. But what happened is that many of the women groups who want to enter the temple, they earlier gave a kind of a statement or report claiming that they were going to walk to the Sabarimala, and they also gave the exact day, which actually was like announcing to the protesters that they are going to come at this point. So they were all prepared. Unlikely in this situation, in this situation, the two women, what they did was that they did not inform anybody. They just went there. 3:45 a.m. they started their walk and went all the way to the temple, and they did not cause any chaos. Just like you mentioned, the cops were in plain clothes. But I also have to inform you here that they did not walk on the 18 steps which is considered to be holy. They walked only on a staircase that was allowed for staffs to enter the temple, but not on the 18 exact golden steps that was supposed to be the way for pilgrims to walk and go and visit Ayyappan shrine.
Right, Pramod, thank you so much for getting us those details of this developing story. And Mira now also spoke to Rahul Ishwar, the petitioner, who calls this move a cheap tactic by the police and the Kerala government. Listen in.
If some temple rules are broken, the necessary purification and the necessary Shuddhi Kriyas will be done. We will be seeing what is going to be done. The country is going to take a call in some time. And it is very cheap strategy and a cheap drama by the Kerala government and police to secretly escort the entirely covered woman by 1 in the midnight and getting them a darshan by around 3 in the morning. It is such a cheap tactic. Because they have done a drama, they have not gone to the 18 holy steps, they have been arranged a special queue and a special darshan. It is very unbecoming the part of the Kerala government to do this. We will point out these things in Supreme Court, and especially on a day when the Prime Minister of India, none less than the Prime Minister of India, supported Sabarimala. It was very unbecoming of a state government to facilitate such a thing. It was very unfortunate and cheap on their part.
When a constitutional bench has given majority judges were given the verdict in favor of women's entry into Sabarimala, and Prime Minister, that shows again he doesn't believe in democracy even, because it's a group of judges and majority gave their opinion in favor of women's entry, and Prime Minister is telling the country that we must look into that the minority opinion of that bench, and it seems he don't respect the majority decision of that bench.
जिनकी ऐसी मानसिकता है, उस मानसिकता का, उस माइंड सेट का जो है वो शुद्धिकरण होना चाहिए। और महिलाओं का प्रवेश जो है वो ये एक ऐतिहासिक जीत है, और उसे अगर मंदिर बंद करके या फिर मंदिर का शुद्धिकरण करके ये अगर प्रीस्ट कर रहे हैं तो ये महिलाओं का अपमान है, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निर्णय का अपमान है। तुरंत मंदिर जो है वो ओपन करना चाहिए। और आज 2 महिलाओं ने प्रवेश किया है, ये प्रवेश कंटिन्यू रखने के लिए वहाँ के प्रीस्ट हो, ट्रस्टी हो या वहाँ की सरकार हो, उन्होंने जो है वो आदेश देने चाहिए। तो ग्यूरेला टैक्टिस से ये महिलाएं जो है वो रात को वहाँ पे गई है, और पुलिस को भी फिर उनका जो बंदोबस्त है वो देने के लिए आसान पड़ा है। सरकार का और पुलिस का आज हम फिर से अभिनंदन करेंगे, लेकिन सरकार का और पुलिस को यही अपील भी करेंगे